Have you ever met someone famous? I don't mean kind of famous. I mean legit big time famous. Maybe professional athlete or singer. I remember when I was 8 years old and I needed some new shoes, so my mom took me to the mall, because of course that's where you get the new shoes. When we got there, the mall was packed. There was crowds everywhere. It took 30 minutes to find a spot. As we were walking up, I had to ask, what's going on? Why is there so many people out here? And I found out something really cool. My favorite basketball player was there. He was filming a commercial in one of the stores there, so I had to hurry up and get there. But first I had to freak out. I was like, what, he's here? I had posters of this guy. I got the video game with this guy. But this was different. He was actually here. Everybody was pressing in to see him. But the two things I had going for me, one, I was 8 years old, so I could just squeeze through the little openings. Two, I was determined to see him. 45 minutes of fighting through the crowd, and I finally got to the front. When I got there, he was the biggest human being I'd ever seen. Seeing him was like the best day ever, and it was all because I was determined to see him. The Bible tells us a story about a guy named Zacchaeus who was also determined to see someone too. Only this person wasn't a professional athlete or a singer, it was Jesus. Now, Jesus was the kind of a celebrity of his own time. People flooded the streets to see him, but Zacchaeus was a short little guy, so it was kind of hard for him to get into the crowd to see. But the thing I like about him is that he was determined. He was so determined to walk and cut in and see where he had to be so he could see that little bitty glimpse of Jesus. When he couldn't squeeze through, he stepped back and saw a tree up the road, and Jesus was gonna pass right underneath that tree. So Zacchaeus, determined as he was like, hey, I'm gonna go shimmy up that tree. Yes, a grown man sitting in a tree waiting for Jesus. He looked down the road and he could clearly hear the crowd of people getting louder as Jesus got closer and closer. Then Zacchaeus says, Jesus, he saw him. I can imagine how the scene unfolded. Mesmerized, he leans in to see him better. It's like the crowd disappeared. All he cared about was his eyes being focused on Jesus. Then, all of a sudden, Jesus did something that was so cool to me. He said, Zacchaeus. I love that moment. And I love that moment because he called him by name. It was so personal. And then Jesus says, quick, come down. I must be a guest in your home today. Jesus dropped everything to spend time with Zacchaeus. That day changed Zacchaeus forever. He was saved, and he said that he would make things right with any person he had wronged. It all happened because Zacchaeus was determined to see Jesus for himself. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what you got going on or even going through, but I promise, if you drop everything and press into Jesus, you'll find him. In the scripture, God says, if you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. I challenge you to this. Look for Jesus. Try to interact with him for yourself. He isn't hiding. He's not sitting behind some cloud, hoping you don't find him. He wants to meet with you. He wanted to meet with Zacchaeus. You just have to be like Zacchaeus and be determined to find him.